We're not a very heavy side, but we've got a lot of skillful players, a lot of good young players that move the ball about. And Hawick's had to change its style over the last few years. Gone are the days of a dominant pack, and we've found ourselves, being smaller against most opposition. Generally because, of the imports and the movement with clubs, a lot of clubs become stronger. But, we've had to rely mainly on homegrown talent, and we will do again this season. And we'll try and play a fast game, and hopefully the new laws will help us as well, because, we adapted to them very well when we played in the Super Cup a couple of seasons ago.
Still a young side, of course. 1 year older, 1 year more experience.
Yeah, well, he would hope so. The problem is for us is that once we get experience and we get players up to pat, they either leave because they want to, produce something in the professional game, or try and go and get themselves a contract somewhere. And we've only lost 2 players this week. Nick McTaggart has gone to Canterbury down in England, along with John Coots, 2 of our most promising youngsters that we've brought through for the last 2 or 3 seasons. They're away. There are rumours that Gavin Petery, one of our most experienced players, has been poached by Melrose. And the thin edge of the wedge for me now is that a guy coming straight out of the Wanderers, a guy Gibson, has been poached, the term of a better word, to go and play at Melrose. And when border clubs that you're coming up against are touting their wares for your players in the same league type, it's the thin edge of the wedge for me. And I think we're going down a very sticky track there, because what do Hawick do? Do we then go out and try and get players from other border clubs? I mean, surely we should be trying to build and promote our own players within our own town and have a strong club team.
You're obviously not a fan of poaching, as we just mentioned there, but
no.
What about imports?
Imports, well, we wouldn't have anybody come into this town or play in this club if we didn't need to. So the only reason we need to is because once we get players up to an experience level, they leave. Justifiably, if they go and they get a professional contract, no problems. If they go and play abroad, no problems, whatever. It's when players leave and then they trot out against us next week to play against Hawick. They've come through the Hawick system. I do realise players leave because they've got jobs, and they migrate to the cities. That's fine, but it just seems to be becoming a regular occurrence now that we have 4 or 5 players that are, for the term of a better word, poached by the bright lights of the city, buy houses, buy cars, buy cash or whatever to play, and it's really difficult to come to terms with, because then we're back to stage 1 again, and players leave because we've not been having success. Once we get players up to a certain standard, they leave and they go elsewhere, and it's a difficult situation to be in. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that Hawick have never poached a player before, or they've not attracted a player from another club, but we would tend to bring players here that have been playing at a lower level and want to test themselves out at a higher level. The thing that really sticks in your throat is, we've lost a player or 2 players to Melrose, and they could be turning out against us in the same competition a few weeks later, and that's the thing that's hard to take.